Is it visible and am I
Yeah,
audible?
it's visible and also audible. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So coming to my topic, the healthcare professionals during the pandemic and the front line between public health and livelihood security. So below this topic, we are going to see the impact of pandemic on health system and healthcare professionals and the adversities faced by healthcare professionals, responsibilities of healthcare professionals in public health and self-health security, and last is preparedness and response for future pandemic. Below that, first, how it is affecting the health system and the healthcare professionals. So the COVID-19 has impacted healthcare workers physically and psychologically. Healthcare workers are more vulnerable to COVID-19 infection than the general population due to frequent contact with the infected individuals, as we all know. And healthcare workers have been required to work under stressful conditions without proper protective equipment and make uh, difficult decisions involving ethical implication, and health and social system across the globe or struggle to cope with the situation is especially challenging in humanitarian, fragile, and low income countries contexts where the health and social system are already weak. And regarding that thing, challenges, some of the challenges the health system facing due to this COVID-19 uh, outbreak, they are the most while beginning of the outbreak itself, the healthcare providers have been shown more support for and gratitude than they ever have. Its challenges on healthcare have continuously been reported and now include the incidents linked to the COVID-19 pandemic across the world. The unprotected public health emergency has demonstrated that health facilities, medical transport, patients as well as healthcare workers and their family can and do become targets everywhere. So it's a great challenge for the healthcare workers to work in this situation because they are easily prone to infection. Thereby, their family and friends will also get infected to this COVID-19. And coming to that, defining the challenges on healthcare system, ensuring access to health services in the cornerstone of successful health response, and what to say, some of the threats, some of the challenges like physical assault, psychological threat, denial of services, and eviction from home, and the more to see in next slide like uh, the challenges that reported by WHO or physical assault, psychological threat, individual weapon, heavy weapon, and cyber attack, eviction from home, obstruction, and denial of services. And impact on the response of COVID-19. The COVID pandemic has put some health system under immense pressure and stretched other beyond their capacity. As such, responding to the public health emergency and successful minimizing in impact requires every health resources to be leveraged. In other countries where attack on healthcare have been noticed, the COVID pandemic has sometimes created hostile environment for healthcare providers who have reported incidents of violence, discrimination, and harassment, and failure to protect healthcare in the rapidly changing context, exposure health system to critical gaps in the services when they are not needed and can be long-lasting impact of the health and well-being of the population. And further reports of the attack on medical vehicle carrying the COVID-19 samples, on-duty COVID-19 drivers, well, as well as by patients are accumulating and raising concern worldwide. However, the attack on healthcare not only have direct impact on the ability of the health system to deliver the services to most in need, but also they take a heavy toll on the psychological health of the patients, critical health care providers on the front line, and their families, as those continue to be targeted by acts of violence during this public health emergency health system, and to prepare for the shortages of healthcare workers. Uh, So these are the challenges and threats. They are how the healthcare workers are being affected by this pandemic. And coming to the next subheading, that is adversities faced by issues faced by the healthcare professionals. And healthcare professionals are the frontline work warriors in the time of the uncertain and unpredictable crisis of COVID-19. And they face many challenges while caring for the patients, yet they are expected to cope with it and deliver duties for the betterment of humankind. The uncertainty in clinical presentation, symptoms, nature of transmission, along with the increased morbidity and mortality, a potential trigger creating concern in healthcare providers dealing as a front line in this current pandemic. And the concern range from fear of occurring infection, inadequate personal protective equipment, that is PPEs. Still, it is lacked in some places in our areas. Nurses and physicians are not having the proper PPEs while getting into the community works and all. Only the uh, people who are taking the samples only wearing the PPEs. Other than that, nearby, who is nearby the patients like nurses and physicians are not having PPEs. Still, it is a great issue for us in our area currently. So those issues like risk of infection, psychological impact and impact of female staff. In risk of infection, WHO itself reported that 1 in 10 healthcare workers is infected with the coronavirus in some countries. And in March 2020, it's reported that 9% of those affected peoples with COVID or healthcare workers in Italy. And in May 2020, International Council of Nurses reported that at least 90,000 healthcare workers have been infected and more than 260 nurses have been died due to this COVID-19. And in May 2020, it was reported that 4 in 1 doctors in UK were sick and isolated or caring for the family members with this COVID-19. And coming to the psychological impact, study reports that in Singapore, healthcare workers caring for the patients with COVID-19 reported anxiety, depression, and stress, increased work demand on the healthcare professionals, conflicts with their duties to families and friends, which causes psychological stress, and healthcare professionals reported being anxious about having self-isolated quarantine and becoming ill for health workers being and was positively associated with minimizing direct contact with the patients and not reporting to work. An Italian nurse committed suicide after being traumatized, trying to save the lives with the COVID-19 patients. And impact on female workers. Globally, it is reported that 70% of the workers in the healthcare society was females who are playing disproportionate role in responding to the disease, including front line health care workers and as well as in home and community leaders. And women are still paid much less than the male counterparts in at least countries, on almost all countries, and how hold poor leadership position in the health sector. And next issues, a shortage of PPE. As I said already, in our areas, PPE is while going for the community work, physicians and nurses are lacking this PPE to take with them. Only the who are taking the technicians who are taking the samples wearing the PPE. Other than those who are not still having that sufficient amount of kids. And violence against the healthcare workers. Healthcare workers have been subjected to violent crimes such as assault. Hospital and government take a strict measure to ensure the safety of their staff. However, many healthcare workers still facing significant risk in physical injuries and deaths. Nurses and doctor deaths due to the COVID-19 have been reported from several countries. And in May 2020, they added that at least 260 nurses died due to this COVID-19. In March 2020, they added that at least 50 doctors were reported died in Italy due to this COVID-19. And at last, recently, in 8th August 2020, Indian Medical Association announced that 198 doctors died in India due to COVID-19. And the ethical decision, the conversation report that healthcare workers will have to face moral injury for making difficult decisions such as moving the patient from the ICU or out of the ICU or ventilation or shifting to the bed and all. And responsibility. So coming to the next topic, thoughts are very responsibility of healthcare professional in public health and self-health. So thousands of healthcare providers are working around the world tirelessly on the front line to COVID-19 crisis. They are being called upon to care for the patients, to work outside their unusual specialties, and to make difficult decisions about patient care. Many are placing their health and their lives at risk to combat this COVID pandemic. And because the healthcare providers are critical to an effective response, it is important for them to understand their right and responsibility around care for the patient during the pandemic. In turns, it is equally important that healthcare employers and government are aware of their responsibility they owe to the healthcare providers. And it is established that healthcare providers have a duty to care for the patients during the pandemic, and this duty is rooted in the moral obligation of the healthcare providers to act in the best interest of their patients. And the extent to which healthcare providers owe to duty of care depends on several factors. For example, like um, healthcare providers who have chosen to work in high risk settings such as intensive care unit and emergency room, they are considered to have increased the obligation to provide patient care during this pandemic, other than the healthcare providers who are working in a low risk settings such as ophthalmology and dermatology. And this is because for the former group, what is it, who are working in the intensive care unit and emergency rooms, have to be considered better trained to deal with these crises and to have accepted a higher risk work environment. Weighing the potential harm to healthcare professional against the potential benefits to a patient is another important consideration, where the risk of healthcare workers is low and benefit to patient is high because the condition is quite treatable. The obligation increases. Conversely, where the risk of healthcare workers is high and the benefits of the patient is low, the obligation to go for the patients is decreased. So the responsibility of the government and healthcare employees. So the government and healthcare employees such as hospitals also have duties and obligation to healthcare providers. They have a responsibility to ensure safe working conditions, which include putting in place appropriate safety precautions for the healthcare providers. So the government and hospitals should also consider the role of technology can play mitigating some of the risk to the healthcare providers, such as using telemedicine to assess, treat patients who are suffering from milder forms of viruses. So and also telemedicine can also use to provide follow-up or consult appointment to patients who are suffering from other diseases such as heart disease and cancer and all, which will reduce the burden of the healthcare system and to reduce the risk of spreading of the infection to the patients and the healthcare providers. So, for the government and hospitals should ensure that much needed counseling and mental health support are in place to support the healthcare providers during this difficult times, because they are stressing the more self while doing those works. So, self security and monitoring approaches. Under this, one is diagnostic evaluation of healthcare workers, and the other is decision making on their duties, either to remove or return to the work. And healthcare workers testing should be made available widely with the symptomatic healthcare workers and auxiliary acute healthcare staff. The importance of supporting healthcare workers according to the COVID testing in case of symptoms cannot be overemphasized, particularly when the source of infection shift from the individual patient who are clearly identifiable to widespread of viral transmission, interaction with the colleagues who are all at increased risk of exposure, and infection could become classed as high risk procedures. And in decision making, like joining or removing, returning to removal of the work, the most suitable approach towards managing removal from the and return to work of healthcare workers depends on the public health strategy and the current pressure on the healthcare system. And during confinement, standard quarantine and isolation should be applied to the healthcare workers, given that the special provisions for healthcare workers is unlikely to be necessary or helpful. Premature redeployment of quarantined or isolation healthcare workers will be probably be needed only in exceptional cases, that is senior most healthcare workers like. And last subheading, that is the preparedness and response for future. This is both for the healthcare workers and public. How can we? So the few okay, we are close link to the future. Next future containing the COVID-19 epidemic is likely to take for several months. Public health intervention will be directed toward social distancing and improving hygiene practices. This is going to be continued, and these interventions will be effective in delaying the onset of wide community transmission, reducing peak incidence and an impact on public services. Testing, contact tracing, isolation of infected, and precautionary self-isolation of contact is critical in reducing the number of new cases. An exceptional high degree of understanding in the population and acceptance of these measures is also critical. These interventions have been balanced with getting back to normal life and everyday activities. The best action is until revising the trajectory pandemic. So the team has planned that within these 5 steps, that is 5 preparedness or responses to overcome the future COVID pandemic. So planning and coordination, first thing is planning and coordination, situation monitoring and assessment, and third thing is reducing the spread of disease, fourth is continuity of healthcare provision and communication. So the goal of planning and coordination is to provide leadership and coordination access sector. One important aspect is to integrate the pandemic preparedness into national emergency preparedness framework. The goal of the situation monitoring and assessment is to interpret and disseminate information on the risk of pandemic before it occurs, and once underway, to monitor the pandemic activities and characteristics to assess the risk of pandemic and is increasing. It will be important to monitor the infectious agent, its capacity causing the disease in human, and a pattern of this disease spread. And reducing the spread of disease will depend significantly upon the increase in social distancing between the peoples, which is not which is not maintaining nowadays. They they turn to their normal life now itself, but it is not safe at all. Between the people, they have to maintain social distance measure, such as individuals or household level of measures, and international travel measures, and the use of antiviral, other pharmaceutical and vaccines will be important in upcoming days. And during a pandemic, health system will need to provide healthcare services while attending to influx of patients with influenza illness, and planning for surge capacity in the healthcare facilities will help determine the extent to which existing health system can expand to manage the additional patient load. And healthcare facilities will need to maintain adequate triage and infection control measure to protect the healthcare workers, patients, and the visitors. So last, is the main thing, that is communication. The goal of communication before and during pandemic is to provide a exchange of relevant information with the public, partners and stakeholders to allow them make well informed decision and take appropriate action to protect health and health safety responses, and is a fundamental part of the effective risk of management. So these five things which is necessary in upcoming days, that is uh, planning and coordination, monitoring, assessment, responding to the spread, reducing the spread, and continuing the healthcare system,
Dr. Vanmati, you have
monitoring the healthcare system, and mainly the yes.
you have just a minute to conclude. Yeah.
Yeah. So coming to the conclusion part, on the whole, healthcare staff have been observed to extremely dedicated to ensure that their patients are adequately cared for under very difficult circumstances, supporting healthcare workers in self-monitoring, self-care, providing them with the easy access to diagnostic and medical to psychological support, and offering clear guidance for safe and timely transition back to work with the strengthened patient care as a whole. The ultimately improve outcome for many patients and healthcare workers. So with this COVID-19, nature is sending us a message that we need to recognize the interrelationship between animals, including pet, livestock, and wildlife, and the transdisciplinary One Health approach involving professionals from many disciplines such as medical, veterinary, environmental health, and social science have been advocated to limit new infectious outbreak. While this while reading while I was searching for this thing yesterday, I went through one case that one 45 years old male patient had seen had sorry was undergone with surgery, that is 27 feet of tapeworm was in his stomach. He had some stomach pain and something like that. Why that is means he had taken a raw meat or beef which is not properly cooked. Like that, they are taking that and they are they are practicing unhygienic preparedness, so that they are prone to those like tapeworm infection. 27 feet is not a simple thing. So, and then global experience is teaching that containment measures and aggressive contact tracing are mandatory to keep the infection under control until approved treatment of vaccine is available to the global community. They should also minimize the economic burden of disease and improve understanding of disease mechanism, health problem, disease emergencies, and reemergence to respond in a proportionate and timely manner. This will help in detecting, preventing, combating future pandemic experiences from this COVID-19 outbreak. So the implementation and development of the One Health collaboration on global scale are critical in reducing the life threat of emerging viruses. So, thank you, that's all.
Thank you, Dr. Vanmati.